области производительности сети и безопасности сети. Штаб-квартира компании находится в Польше, в Варшаве, но также есть точки присутствия в Румынии, Чешской Республике. А, Рынки, которые покрывает компания, это Центральная и Восточная Европа, Анатолия, Кавказ, Великобритания, Северная Африка, Центральная Азия. Также у нас есть потенциальные партнеры и заказчики в Восточной Азии, а именно в Монголии, поэтому география нашего воздействия, она довольно-таки широка. Модель бизнеса, по которой мы работаем, это трехуровневая модель дистрибьюции. А, Мы работаем через системных интеграторов. В каждой стране нам выгодно и было бы неплохо иметь от 3 до 5 системных интеграторов, у которых есть инженерные компетенции и которых мы сможем научить работе с продуктом, его развертывания, да, настройки, ну и, соответственно, администрирования как такового продукта. В ряде случаев мы можем работать по двухуровневой модели. Это кейсы для ряда а, компаний в публичных секторах, либо же для сервис-провайдеров. По заказчикам и вертикалям бизнеса мы работаем в публичном секторе, работаем с силовыми корпорациями, здравоохранением и образованием. Также нам интересны такие компании, как в секторах телеком, сервис-провайдеры, дата-центры. Работаем с банковским сектором, работаем с enterprise сектором. В enterprise мы включаем различного типа компании, от логистических до крупных ритейлерских сетей, производства, либо же компании, которые работают в энергетическом секторе. Нам также доверяют такие транснациональные телеком-операторы, как Orange, T-Mobile. Работаем с Народным банком Польши. Также оказываем услуги мобильному оператору связи в Польше компании Play. Наши технологические партнеры, с которыми у нас есть коллаборации, это ProfitUp. Здесь здесь у нас есть коллаборации в области зеркалирования трафика, его хранения и последующей обработки. И, соответственно, передача более обогащенных данных в консоль Sycope. Также мы работаем с Macmon, Keysight, Garland, используем технологии NTOP в собственных продуктах, ну и также сотрудничаем в коллаборации вместе с ними, с компанией NTOP, с продуктовым портфелем NTOP, где мы применяемся. Sycope в основном применяется для соблюдения требований, планирования расходов, особенно что касается физического хранилища данных, также для обнаружения сетевого оборудования в сети, проведения дискаверинга и инвентаризации активного сетевого оборудования, обнаружение приложений на 7 уровне. Применяемся также для обнаружения проблем с производительностью и мониторинга безопасности, используя преднастроенные правила, которые идут в коробке. Основные ключевые преимущества, которые ценны нашим партнерам и нашим заказчикам, это возможность быстрого развертывания продукта. Если взять инженера, который ранее не работал с Sycope, то он сможет в течение 1,5 часа развернуть продукт и настроить его для получения первых результатов. Также у нас высокая совместимость с указанными на слайде стандартами. Также можно добавлять к анализу пикап-файлы. Высокая производительность системы. Мы обрабатываем порядка 250 флоу в секунду. Ну и также эффективность. Что еще является плюсом? Это сохранение пространства для хранения данных. Да? То есть для записи 10-гигабитного трафика нам понадобится порядка 70 гигабайт хранилища для 1 минуты записи. Чтобы сделать то же самое с NetFlow, нам понадобится порядка 150 мегабайт хранилища для минуты записи потока. Ну и, соответственно, эргономичный интерфейс и возможность конфигурации отчетов и графов. В середине лета должен появиться дополнительный отчет в виде геомаппинга, и вы сможете получать данные, получать, скажем так, да, топологию сети в виде карты. То есть вы сможете на карте видеть полностью вашу сеть в разрезе страны, либо же в разрезе континентов. Но это будет, наверное, больше интересно крупным телеком-провайдерам и организациям, у которых разветвленная инфраструктура. Компоненты, из которых состоит Sycope. Это модуль мониторинга и видимости сети, на котором где проводится анализ на 3-4 уровнях, модуль производительности сети. Здесь используется NProbe, технология NProbe в продукте Sycope Probe. Модуль безопасности, который чуть позже покажет вам Яцек. Есть также отдельная мультитенант консоль, которая будет интересна сервис-провайдерам, крупным телеком-организациям, ну и компаниях, у которых которые состоят из группы компаний, скажем так, у которых большая сеть. Также отдельный продукт, который ориентирован на исследование запросов пользователей в сети, и он будет, наверное, больше интересен ряду компаний в публичном секторе. Это Sycope Security Gateway, он же также называется Sycope Classificator. Сегодня мы остановимся более детально на модуле безопасности, в котором уже предустановлено порядка 45 правил, ссылающихся на 7 тактик митр-атак, к примеру, таких как сканирование сети, брут-форс, фишинг, боковое движение, эксфильтрация данных, дискаверинг конфигурации активного сетевого оборудования, криптомайнинг и многое-многое другое. Где мы себя видим в SOC-триаде? Это позиция NDR. Да, возможно, мы не так глубоко анализируем трафик на уровне пакетов, но у нас есть ряд ключевых преимуществ, которые позволяют нам конкурировать с решениями на базе DPI. Что, в принципе, является важным для SOC-команд и для планирования бюджетов. Где в безопасности мы используемся? В основном это для детекции угроз сети, соответствие требованиям регуляторов, это PCI DSS, тот же GDPR, DORA, ISO EEC 27201. Мы можем также отдавать данные в CM-системы, такие как QRadar, Splunk и другие, ну, либо же в системы активного воздействия на активное сетевое оборудование. И для криминалистики и проведения расследований. На данном слайде вы можете увидеть граф, да, по тактикам митр-ТТК и по тем типам атак, на которые есть уже в коробке правила в нашем продукте, и которые вы, в принципе, можете стартовать, просто изучив документацию Sycope. Если у вас есть вопросы по бизнесовой части, пожалуйста, задавайте в раздел «Вопросы и ответы». Сейчас я передам слово Яцеку Гремуше, он продолжит презентацию с технической перспективы, поэтому смело задавайте вопросы, будьте активны. Яцек, the floor is yours. Please show our participants use cases you have and you face it with. Good luck.
Okay, can you see my screen? Can you confirm that you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So okay, hello, thank you, Mick, for your part. My name is Jacek Grumos, and I'm a network security evangelist at Sycope. During this part of a presentation, we discuss how to effectively use the Sycope network security monitoring system in the process of network and security monitoring. I will start my presentation by explaining to you how to use NetFlow for network monitoring and security. In the next part, I will present selected use cases, and finally, I will conduct a short demo. Let me start by asking you a question. Have you ever wondered what the effects of network malfunctions are? If not, I will explain it to you now. Network malfunctions can lead to downtime during which essential services become inaccessible. This can disrupt business operations. Moreover, they can damage an organization's reputation. They can result in the lost customer records, of course. Poor communications can lead to loss of key partnerships. They can lead to regulatory compliance violations as well, and of course financial losses, vulnerabilities, and of course competitors may gain an edge by offering more reliable services or solutions. In the figure, you can see the ranking of serious service failures in the world in 2023. As we can see, availability is one of the key security factors. So we should do everything we can detect these types of problems quickly, as they are very costly in every respect. So during today's presentation, I will try to tell you how to detect network and security threats based on NetFlow. As Mikola mentioned earlier, network monitoring, NetFlow allow you to monitor network application and performance monitoring, helping troubleshooting, allow you effective cost management, and of course allow for planning expansion in network infrastructure. This is from the network point of view. From the security point of view, NetFlow monitoring allow you for detect network security threats, assist in meet regulatory requirements, forensic analysis, support, and of course it may be a valuable data source for other systems. Sycope products consists of three modules. The basic module of the Sycope is visibility, which allows for the analysis of network traffic in the context of the entire organization. And thanks to this, we know who is talking to whom, on which ports, on which interfaces, and how many bytes and packets were sent. And the performance module is used to analyze application and network performance, as well as to increase the visibility by providing application layer 7 information. And the security module, we are focused on this part mainly during today's webinar. Supports all security operations processes such as incident handling, forensic investigation, and threat hunting. Sycope is a virtual machine, so you don't need to install any agents. Just enter a few commands on the network device to send flows to our system. So as you can see, deployment is very fast and simple. And the advantage of this solution is the ability to flexibility, analyze data from many perspectives. For example, after clicking on the KPI, we can go to the another context. For example, threat detection and analysis, and then go alerts table. And this allows you to perform flexible analysis just by moving between different contexts. So very quick analysis are possible thanks to drill down options. The REST client functionality allows integrate with other systems, third-party systems. So if you want to mitigate some risk, some issues, you can integrate you can integrate with other systems using the REST client function. For example, you even alert generate suspicious activities. You can run a script to scan vulnerability, to check something, to block this activity. But of course, if you have integrations with another systems, because Sycope is a passive system, but based on REST client, you can do what you want. And the performance model allows you to enrich the other data, including application name and dedicated deep-packet inspection, thanks to DPI, J3 hashes. I will talk about this later, and of course other fields which may be useful to analyze issues. Here we see a typical network performance problem in which the key is to diagnose whether the problem is network, application, or maybe endpoint side. So and thanks to standard built-in views and drill down options, you just need to make 2 clicks and you can immediately see where the problem may exist. There are many ways to represent network traffic in Sycope. The ability to show the same data from different perspectives. For example, correlation charts can help detection non-obvious threats. For example, we can analyze traffic for one-to-many. So in most cases, this is traffic related to communications client server, but sometimes this activity may be related to malicious activity. And of course, many types of graphs you can create in our systems and observe and use it to monitoring. Network observability in Sycope is possible thanks to trends and deviations from the so-called dynamic baseline. So you can see all deviations from the standard traffic from the baselines. You can configure a reference point, a reference line, and based on such views, you are able to detect very quick and security issues or network issues, of course. A company from telecommunication uses our system to observe the characteristic of backbone traffic by monitoring ESN. ESN, this is a telecom organization. So some traffic, they can decide which is the routing between other companies, and and can manage effectively network traffic and save money. Yeah, so this is some telecommunication organizations save money thanks to better managing traffic in their organization. Here is an example of simple views for ESNs. In our demo. Okay, so network monitoring systems help you meet regulatory. As you can see, many regulators requires that the system allow you to network traffic activities, performance monitoring, and of course security. So our system is able to provide such added value for our customers, and we have built in some security rules. For example, this is an example of rule to detect clear text application. So this is one of the regulation of PCI DSS. On this picture, we see a diagram of an example network infrastructure. So in the initial access phase, the attackers try to get into our network through phishing. and we have some rules to detect such type of activities, usually mainly on IOC. The next phase is discovery phase. The attacker tries to learn about our network environment. Then attacker in the lateral movement attempts to jump between hosts in the organization. Then threat actors can collect data of interest to him, and then can exfiltrate phase. So adversary tries to steal data from the organization. Of course, there are much more tactics and techniques, and I'd like to highlight that we covered most of MITRE tactics. So suspicious activities may be visible for many perspectives on our network, because all traffic, all malicious activities need to use network communication channels to infect hosts. So many activities we see on the network traffic. However, I'd like to highlight that we monitor NetFlow. So we have some network metadata, but based on these activities, we are able to detect suspicious anomalies and activities. Of course, network monitoring supports the zero trust concepts by providing network traffic data that is necessary to implement this model, and NetFlow allow you for detecting anomaly detection, access management, incident response, and of course verification of security policy rules. So there are parts of zero trust require, and such system allow you to create zero trust model. Thanks to zero trust model, even if the network is hacked, the attacker will encounter additional layers of security that will make it difficult for him to access valuable resources and limit the damage resulting from the attack. The power of dashboards. In our system, there are a lot of dashboards, so you can switch between them. They allow you for analyzing threats and suspicious activities. You can manage the detected alerts. I will show you more details during the demo. Of course, the added value is also using our searches, which allow you to detect suspicious activities. We have about 15 built-in searches, and they are the searches allow you to start the advantage with threat hunting processes. So I recommend to play with this activity. Okay, now I will focus on technical issues, technical use cases, mostly on security use cases. The first technique is I'd like to draw attention is the technique related to anonymization. This technique can be viewed from two sides. The first is the fact that the traffic anonymization techniques allow people to communicate in non-democratic countries where censorship is enforced. Of course, in addition, we want to maintain anonymity ourselves, for example, through proxies or exit iCloud private relay nodes to maintain our privacy. But cybercriminals also want to maintain their privacy. So from the threat hunter point of view, you should search for all possible anonymization channels. And we have built-in Tor reputation knowledge blog list, and we detect such activity in our system. And the next case is related to monitoring non-standard ports. Monitoring non-standard ports allows for detecting malicious activities, such as, for example, pickup bot Trojan, and additionally, communication with C2 takes place on high ports, as you can see on the green. Additionally, some ports may related to Quokbot proxy, for example, 2222. Yeah, so based on these artifacts, and additionally, specific user agent allow you to detect pickup bot Trojan, and of course other activities. So monitoring strange ports is very, very useful and practical task from the security threat hunter or security blue team member. Okay, the protocol HTTP has many attributes that should be analyzed by threat hunters, and our system allows you for that, because if you use a performance model, so we have data used by layer 7 application. So system administrator use technical security through obscurity, but adversaries can also mask themselves in the same way. Downloading, uploading suspicious files, I will talk about it later. Abnormal HTTP traffic, the use of unencrypted traffic. It may be problem with regulatory, it may be problem with sniff the traffic. So it's so we need to monitor such websites, and monitor problems with the TLS issues, such as, for example, self-signed certificates or certificate issued for a longer period of time. So, and there is a lot of more such issues, of course. Binary downloads and uploads are a particularly important element to monitor, because such content may also contain malicious files. Therefore, verifying what, where, and why is extremely important from the point of view of network traffic analysis. And you can use HTTP MIME command, HTTP MIME attribute to monitor suspicious extensions, for example, .exe, zip, and something like that. And you can add another conditions, for example, volumetric, that some bytes is higher than for example some values. Additionally, we can use charts to monitor our deviations from the baselines. And for example, if we see many HTTP any response code, for example, start with 4, for example, 404, we can see that something is related to scan, or something is related to DDoS, or something like that. So another use case is related to suspicious user agents. So we know that that we are not able to detect all legit user agents, because as we see, as many user agent is. But so the reason, so we usually monitor block listed, so bad user agent. But from the threat hunter point of view, I recommend to use the user agent which are bottom of our list, so the rarest user agents. because as you can see, if we analyze the rarest user agents, we see we may find indicators of malicious activities, as here we see some different user agents related to specific attacks. Based on NetFlow monitoring, we can of course monitor DNS. We should monitor unauthorized DNS servers, suspicious DNS queries. Port 53 is used for zone transfer, yeah. So and should be allowed between primary and secondary DNS servers. So if we see such communication, we should analyze it if we see such traffic, not only between primary and secondary servers. Outgoing UDP traffic outside the DNS or NTP services should be monitored. Passflux DNS, I will tell you about it in a few minutes. DNS failures, of course, DNS failures. Many frequently occurring incorrect DNS responses may indicate communications with C2. Of course, detection of unusual TLD, so exotic TLD, such as, for example, xyz.com should be subject of our analysis. Because it may be something suspicious, and of course volumetric analysis, and I will show you some examples. So what is fast flux? Is a technique used by cyber criminals to increase the resilience of their infrastructure by making it more difficult for law enforcement to block their IPs. So detection of this technique is possible by detecting the occurrence of multiple IP addresses for one domain. So we see that there is one domain, but this domain uses many IP addresses. Of course, sometimes some services may use dynamic DNS and something like that, but of course we need to know what is whitelisted, what is legal, what is not legal. And as we see, many threat actors still use this technique. Okay, the next case is related to suspicious DNS queries. So we see how to detect it based on our system and another system. If you notice mix of upper and lower cases, non-alphanumeric strings, long DNS queries, I will show you. This is an example from DNS tunneling, and I have such a case. I will tell you about this case later. Many subdomains in DNS queries, suspicious domain, bad reputation, new registered domains, and something like that, and of course DGA. Unusual traffic volumes. So I recommend to monitor DNS traffic from many perspectives. We can detect many DNS many queries, for example DNS record A queries from one host within a short time period. So this activity may indicate on malicious activity, but similar query related to the DNS TXT records allow you to detect tunneling, exfiltration data, or communications with command and control. And of course, volumetric of bytes is very important, because based on this volumetry, you are able to detect some tunneling and exfiltration process. And another examples of monitoring DNS queries. We can monitor long DNS queries. So For example, you can create a query to detect to display DNS queries longer than 60 charts, and then analyze if this query are suspicious or not. It may be, and of course, another case may related to monitor sessions which are not so which are single sessions in our organizations. It may also be related to malicious activities, because most traffic most businesses people uses usually the top websites, for example, Google.com or something like that. But if we see some single domain, it may be something interesting from a threat hunter point of view. Dynamic resolutions. Cyber criminals often use legitimate dynamic DNS services to host situ in order to bypass organization's firewall. And this type of activity, here is an example of using regex in our system to detect dynamic DNS related to APT UNC 3524. But you can notice that there are many dynamic resolutions vendors, and so the functionality that makes our everyday lives easy can also be used for malicious purposes. Yeah, so many adversaries use dynamic DNS techniques. So it is necessary to detect this type of activity in our environment, in our network. ngrok. Do you know what is the ngrok proxy? ngrok is a legal proxy. It's a legal reverse proxy tool that can help us to create a secure tunnel to servers behind firewalls, or on local computers that do not have a public IP address. And ngrok is very simple in use. So what you have to do? Click. You can start the command ngrok http and put the path to the shared folder. After this, the URL will be generated, and from your computer in the internet, you can log in to this. You can download shared data. So this is the way why you how you can exfiltrate data from the organization, and what to do, how to detect such activity. Sometimes you can use IOC reputation, but in this case, when I tested it, it didn't work great. I recommend to use a regex and use ngrok hostname to find hostname related to this tool, and this is one of the best methods to detect such activity. Brute force attacks. So when you can start a Hydra tool to start the brute force. For example, here is an example that the user brute force the host using SSH protocol. And after such activity, we see a lot of abnormal activities. We see a lot of flows, a lot of packets, and based on the characteristics of network, we can discover hosts which may be malicious, and we notice that this host was the source of the scan as and we see that the server host, so the server host which were scanned is here. So it's on the first list on our analysis, because we analyze data, for example, in this case by client IP, server port, and calculate some metrics. So based on such attributes, we are able to detect brute force and others network anomalies. Rogue RDP access, you should monitor RDP. RDP is very common protocol, and it's very often used by cyber criminals. And I recommend you to monitor this traffic from many perspectives. For example, internal to internal, internal to external, and something like that. And but of course, external from internal should not be should be blocked, such activity. So every type, every such activities should be subject of your monitoring. Have you ever wondered how to detect cryptocurrency miners? I also thought about it and set up a system, and I tried to analyze characteristic of traffic, but I didn't find any volumetric specific. But I noticed that specific ports exist in this communication, in network miner communication. So in this example, we see 5555. But after deeper analysis, I noticed that there are more such ports which may related to crypto mining, and here is a list of such ports. So if you see, for example, such ports, it may indicate in your network traffic, it may indicate that something may mine cryptocurrency. Yeah, of course, it's able to monitor such activity based on IP reputation. So in Sycope, there is also reputation which detects such activity based on IP addresses. In Sycope, we have more. We have some more reputation list. For example, malware, Tor, proxy, spam, phishing, and others. So here's an example that you can detect suspicious activity based on reputation, and you can add additional conditions that, for example, that bytes should be more than 20 kilobytes. Yeah, so you can detect such activities. Okay, we want to monitor something, but we want to know that that there were sent, for example, more than 1 gigabyte or something like that. So using such attributes is very valuable. But how to detect how to detect the decrypted traffic? You can use JA3 fingerprints. So JA3 client, JA3 server. So based on these fingerprints, TLS fingerprints, we are able to detect malicious activities, and we also have such a block list with suspicious TLS fingerprints. Another case is related to web server. Cyber criminals may use cloud storage for data exfiltration, our code repository. So it's when you start hunt for threats, it's great tool. It's great queries to detect all illegal activities in an organization. For example, if in your organization Dropbox is not permitted, you are able to detect such activities, and then notify security team and investigate how to handle the incident, and maybe such traffic should be blocked on the firewall in other security systems. So I command use these built-in queries. Okay, so now it's case related to tunneling. Because most common DNS is one of the common services which is used for tunneling, and I will show how simple it is. Just use the DNS cut tool, and establish and set the secret. For example, cis123, and then on the victim machine you have to run DNS cut, indicate the DNS server, and you can use secret here, the same as you configured on the victim machine, on your server machine, sorry. And then when you click enter, the session has established, and you see that there is a lot of specific queries. The traffic is tunneled, and now you can run some commands. For example, you can upload some data from a victim host, and we know, and here is an example how to upload data from the victim. And when you start this command, when you start to upload the data, you see that there is a lot of TXT records, MX records, and CNAME records. So and the query are long, as you see here. Query starts with DNS cut. So there are some so you are able to detect it based on monitoring volumetric, based on monitoring long of query name and something like that. And yeah, and here is summary how to detect such activity. You can also monitor OpenDNS. Yeah, in some organization, you should use only official DNS servers. And if you don't use OpenDNS, if in your organization OpenDNS are not legit, and you detect such activity, you can handle such you should handle such issues, because some attackers may use it, and something like that. Of course, network anomalies based on NetFlow, based on dashboards, is very useful. Do you remember the Log4Shell vulnerability? In the vulnerability, the interest is that it was traffic, external traffic to LDAP, using LDAP protocol. So if you see LDAP communication outside the organization, it is probably malicious activities, because LDAP activity outside your organization should be blocked. So of course you can sometimes you can have some services in cloud or something like that, but please analyze such activities. Okay, so now I will show you something in our system. When you go to the system, we see there are many dashboards. For example, we can start analysis from the dashboards views. For example, threat detection analysis. This dashboard allows you for analyzing security issues from many perspectives. We can filter by, for example, tactic. We can click we can add it for we can analyze by clicking on the dashboard some information. So we can see correlations between IP addresses which are suspicious, and for example, we see the graph that for example, one host is targeted and is source for another. and some other activities, suspicious activities. So we can filter data based on many attributes here. Client private, client function, if we have configured network model, workstation group, and others group. And for example, we can analyze traffic from this for free. Yeah, so but we can analyze traffic from the also from the point of view of IP addresses and alerts from groups, countries, alerts map, and alert statistics. So here is alert statistics, which allow you to detect the most critical issues that, for example, unauthorized DAP activities were detected more than 1,000 times, and it was related to more than 500 unique client IP addresses. So it may be very critical issues in my organization. Of course, this is demo system, so I have generated some issues here, some attacks here, but based on analysis of colors, you can see that something is more critical. And of course, alerts critical, alerts scatter, so you can notice characteristics of alerts in your organization. Another view is related to SOC KPI. In SOC KPI, you are this is view for managers. You can see the statistics of all threats detected in context of MITRE attack tactics. So you see that there were 3,000 alerts and 2,000 alerts related to discovery and something like that. And of course, you can analyze this data from many perspectives, such as, for example, reconnaissance, tactics. And if you set the longer period of time, for example, 7 days, you can analyze characteristic how the threats has changed in your environment last week. Another how to create the rule, and in the Sycope creation rule is very easy. You can create, because we have a lot of built-in rules. You click rules, add rules from template. Now you can detect, you can find some rules which you are interested in. For example, of course, you can filter in by tactic, technique, something like that. But for example, we want to add a rule to detect DDoS attack. So we see this rule is this record, this description. We click plus, and now we see what we need to do, and we can change the name. For example, version 3, DDoS attack version 3, and we can update some attributes. We can analyze why the rule, what are the threshold of this rule. And we see there is a lot of conditions here. For example, unique client IPs is higher than 2 unique client ASN, unique some bytes, some packets. So there are some thresholds which are we can, of course, we can change them. Yeah, we can change them. For example, here. Because this is our custom rule. And what else? And we can also add some actions. So by default we create alerts, but we can also create send this alert by email, by SNMP trap receiver, syslog, Third-party system, if we have some configurations, for example, Magmon, REST, and something like that. So this is actions what we can what can be trigger after the result will be after as a result of this alert. And of course, so we change the some attributes. For example, here we can set free. Click create, and our rule will be has been added, and we see. So the rule is very simple creation. Of course, you can create this rule from step by step. Additional very important things to monitor for threat hunters, because most of queries which were presented today were related to threat hunters. Is using searches. So searches, and just a second, because I need to update my system. My browser, okay. Okay, we can use this one. So when we have search bar, for example, when we click this value, when we click some value on our dashboard, this value will be added to our search bar. But additionally, we can use built-in threat hunting searches. For example, CTI alerts. We want to display on CTI alerts. We want to detect some specific activities. For example, some searches related to APT28, some searches related to DNS anomalies, anomalies related to user agents, suspicious download, unsafe protocols, and using some chat, dangerous VPN, databases, gaming. So we can use many queries to analyze suspicious activities in our network. Yeah, so so you see that there is a lot of possibilities in our system. What I wanted to tell you, maybe I'll back to presentation. If you have any questions, because I'm going to finish the presentation now. So we have 2 minutes, so maybe there are some questions. Here you can see some so what Sycope offer, that the system is plug and play, custom content, data deduplication, NQL, so our query language, anomaly detection, automation and integrations, and so in my opinion, network team must have such system. Security staff should have such system, and IT team could have such system, because it may help many departments to resolve the issues. So if you have any questions, I can answer for the questions, because my presentation was a little
No problem.
We
have a few questions. We have a few questions. The first one is related to the licensing, and what is the main metric, how Sycope is licensing? Okay, so Sycope is licensing per module. So you have 3 modules. We have 3 modules. Okay, I don't have such here. If you want, I can answer on that question in
Okay, you can
Russian.
answer. You can answer. You can answer.
Окей. Коллеги, Sycope лицензируется очень просто. Есть одна метрика, это NetFlow per second. Она распространяется на все 3 модуля, поэтому, исходя из этого, вы можете, как бы, да, делать запрос на лицензирование. Вот, поэтому как-то так. Есть также вопрос о ключевых преимуществах Sycope перед конкурентами. Ну, собственно, первое ключевое преимущество исходит из метрик лицензирования. Это цена. Она приятно ниже от цен конкурентов, так как нам необходима всего лишь одна метрика. Мы не привязываемся к количеству активного сетевого оборудования в сети и прочим дополнительным метрикам. Второе – это простота продукта и скорость его внедрения. Третье – это производительность продукта и возможность экономить на хранилище. Ну и четвертое – это возможность использования продукта абсолютно в локальной инфраструктуре, закрытой, что очень важно для предприятий, которые относятся к критической инфраструктуре и которые не работают с облачными сервисами, либо же MSP-провайдерами. Как-то так. Это из ключевых преимуществ. Если есть еще вопросы, пожалуйста, задавайте, поднимайте руки, можете голосом.
I recommend to use. I like to add that we have documentation for this system, and I recommend to read and see example of our threat hunting searches. We recommend to test our system to see if it's added value for you, for your organizations. If you notice something interesting, because I hope it may help you in solving some technical issues. And of course, we invite you for our webinars, for our trainings, for our activities, and we can organize special meetings for you. Because I know that today it was very fast, so we can focus on we can conduct another training with specific with another topics maybe, or these topics will be repeated. Today's I focus on security, most on security and threat hunting process and security possibilities.
Да, собственно, для каждого модуля нам